I'm so sorry about the long hold, but here we are with part number 9. And happy Turkey Day to everybody. I was feeling very sick these past couple days, but let's get to it. So all I hear is a bow, and my heart stops for a second, right? And I'm just like, so I'm getting ready to try to run, and Kilo guy goes and snatches me, pulls me back, and he goes, and I'm like, so he's telling me to be quiet and stand down, like just stand there. So all I hear is Kilo go, Jay, you hit me? And Kilo's men pull out all their tools and they're like, so I'm just like, what the heck is happening, right? Jay goes and to Kilo. And I was given like, Jay actually just grazed Kilo, right? He grazed him. Didn't hit him like at a specific point, but wherever he hit him, like just grazed him. And it didn't really like, take him out. So I can only assume it's a bunch of Kilo's men with Kilo and Jay and Bank Robber Bay in a stand down, right? Because Jay keeps saying, tell him to put it down. And I'm just like, this was the stupidest idea I've ever seen or heard, because like it's 2 of them, right? Versus a bunch of like Kilo guys. So Kilo's like, like going crazy. But for some reason, I noticed Kilo's men don't let out, right? Like, so Jay goes and says, I advise you tell your men to stand down. And Kilo goes and says, are you crazy? You crazy? You gonna do this to me? And Jay says, in my house, yes, because you're not about to disrespect me. You know me. You know I run things. You know, blah, blah. So I'm just like, what the heck is happening? So this whole time I'm thinking, yo, Jay must have a lot of manpower like within himself for him to feel like he can do that. And literally no one's doing anything, right? So Kilo is just going crazy. He's like, Jay, you crossed the line. Jay, it's over. So Jay goes and says, Kilo, like I said, I advise you don't do nothing stupid right now, right? Cool. So Jay go and say, tell your men to put it down, because you already know what this is going to turn into if you try me in my own house. So it's quiet, right? But I just hear Kilo going, So Kilo goes and says, stand down, stand down. So then Jay goes and says, now Kilo, do you want the offer or not? Kilo sounding like a big baby, right? Kilo, who's a scary man, becomes like small. Kilo goes and says, keep it, Jay. We good. So I'm just like, he don't want the money and he just got hurt. So then Jay gonna say, that was just a graze, Kilo. But don't do nothing stupid, because you already know what this gonna turn into. So I'm like, that sounds like to me, like, So Kilo men, like, they gather him, and Kilo's like, yo, I'm out. But Jay, this ain't over. And Jay says, Kilo, it's bad for business. You just disrespected me. Don't do it again. Right? Cool. So this is the oddest encounter I've seen, because I'm just like, right? So Kilo and his men start to leave, and I'm just looking away, right? Now, remember, there was a man that snatched me and went and said, remember that man. Remember that man. Because this man plays a crazy part in this entire situation. Like, this situation gets crazier by the second. So now they're gone, and I hear Jay going in on Bank Robber Bay. He's like, this is what you brought here. This is the drama you always bring. This is why I can't trust you with nothing. You mess with my business. You mess with our lives. What is wrong with you? Why can't you figure it out? Why? So now Bank Robber Bay is just looking like a kid for 2 seconds. And I'm just like, nah, Bank Robber Bay. Like, you supposed to be like serious and whatnot. But this whole entire time too, I'm just like, why and how did I get myself into this entire situation? So I'm startled and scared, right? Jay guy left, so I'm just standing in the area that he left me in. And Bank Robber Bay looks at me, he's like, come on. And I'm just like, what did I do to you? So Bank Robber Bay goes into the kitchen, I follow, and he tells me to sit down. And Jay's looking at me like, you don't even know this girl. And you bringing her around here. You got yourself into some stupid mess because you want to act like a child. So Jay looks at me and he's like, we're going to have to figure out what to do with you. And I'm like, do with me? I got to go home. I don't know anything, sir. I didn't see nothing. I don't know nothing. I ain't hear nothing, okay? I just want to go home. So Bank Robber Bay goes and says, she has nothing to do with this. And that's when Jay goes and says, she has everything to do with this. The only reason why you here is because you was with her. Do you even know her last name? Let's start there. And I'm like, so now I'm just sitting here like, y'all don't got to know that much about me. I just want to go home. I don't know much about you. I don't even think Bank Robber Bay's name is Bank Robber Bay, all right? I mean, his original, like his actual name. So I'm just like, I don't know nothing. I was like, and I told him straight, I was like, yo, you don't got to worry about me. I just want to be let off on the freeway and I figure out myself my way back home. So Bank Robber Bay goes and he's like, yo, Jay, we not doing nothing to her. Again, she got nothing to do with this. And that's when I'm like, yes, defend me, baby. Defend me. So now Jay goes and says, I can't trust you to do anything smart anymore. I can't trust you to be here anymore. After all this is done, you're done. You're done. He's like, now you messed up business between me and Kilo. But of course I'm going to have your back because I won't let no man disrespect me in my space. But you did this. You did all of this. So I'm looking at this like, and you know, Bank Robber Bay's quiet. He's not saying nothing. He's just taking it in. So now Jay's like, now I got to figure out how to situate situations for you. And I'm like, so Jay ends the conversation and Jay's like, he calls his assistant to come and send me to a room. He's like, bring her to blah, blah, blah. Brings me to one of the rooms. I'm like walking and I look at Bank Robber Bay like, don't leave me. So Bank Robber Bay looks at me like it's okay. And he continues his conversation with Jay, right? So I go upstairs and I'm in this room. And first of all, I must say the house is beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful big house, plenty of rooms, and I'm sitting there and the assistant looks at me, he's like, hey, do you need anything? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'm right. I'm fine. So I'm chilling in that room for a little bit, just nervous, shaken up because I just saw this crazy drama implode, right? So boom, I'm in this room, right? So I'm in this room for like 20 minutes and I'm just sitting here nervous and the door flies open and it's Bank Robber Bay. He's like, you good? I'm like, yes. And he's like, okay, you gonna shower here, brush your teeth, and we're gonna leave. I'm like, but we just got here. He's like, we can't stay here. We're gonna leave. I'm like, okay, cool. He looked a little like irritated and aggravated, but I just listened. I'm like, okay, I guess we're gonna go. But then I say to him, like, am I ever gonna go home? He's like, I need you to stop and trust me. And I'm like, okay. So this whole time I'm trying to figure out, I've been gone for a little too long now. I'm hoping that, there's like a little alert out here for me to look for me because I'm on the run with someone that I don't want to be on the run with. And this, like I said, is getting hostage situation. So Bank Robber Bay walks out and he comes back in probably like 10 minutes later. He throws me a towel, toothbrush, and a pair of sweatpants with a t-shirt and a hoodie. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is what I'm wearing, right? Fresh socks. I had on like these little shoes, like these. So I get ready. I go to the shower and I use up their good soap. I use up all their lotion. I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna take advantage of y'all because y'all freaking taking advantage of this situation and got me on the run, and I don't want to be here. So yes, I definitely used their good soap, their good lotion. I got ready, put the hoodie on, put the sweats on, and was like, come out. Bank robber Bay is in the room that I was in, right? So I come out the bathroom, dressed up, go inside the room, and I'm looking at him. He's sitting down, and he's like, we need to leave now. And I'm like, are you gonna tell me where we're going? And he's like, you're gonna depart from me. I'm gonna figure this out, but we need to go right now. I'm like, do you know where we're going? He's like, I know where we're gonna stay at, but it's too hot and I can't have you around this stuff. And I'm like, okay. So we come downstairs, see Jay. Jay looks at me with this like serious look, like shaking his head. Then he looks at Bank Robber Bay and he's like, all right. So we get into a different car, right? There's this new entire car. We walk downstairs and there's a new car outside. And it seems like it's probably one of Jay's cars. But anyway, we get into this new car and I'm looking around and I'm just like uncomfortable. Like I'm just nervous because this whole entire time it's odd that I'm adapting to the situation, but I just remembered that Jay just did some real gangster stuff earlier. So I just want to get out of Jay's house. I don't want to be in Jay's house. Jay scares me. I feel like he is a very calculating man. But he has some serious like anger issues when it comes to disrespect. So we're driving now, right? We leave Jay's, we get out, and we're probably driving for like an hour and let's say 30 minutes, right? And we end up in this garage. Like we end up driving into this mechanic garage that seems like there's nobody there. And I don't want to say it's abandoned because I see like a few cars there, but he whips out a key, opens it up, and we're in there and it's just us. And he's like, we're going to be good for now. I'm like, okay. So at this point, he also has like a burner phone. And it seems like wherever he got, he had this bag with him. In that bag that I told you he picked up at the last house, he had like a burner phone. He had things inside that bag. I didn't really look into the bag, but I can see that that's where he kept most of the things that were on like the run with, right? So he has this burner phone and he calls who I assume is Jay. He's like, I'm good. And Jay's like, bet. So he's on the phone with Jay for like 5 minutes and then he hangs up. So now I walk on over and there's like this couch there and I just sit there and I'm like shaking my head. He looks at me and I look at him and I just look away and I'm just shaking my head. He comes on over to me. He sits down. He's like, Chelsea, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so very sorry. And I'm like, at this point, I tell Banker Bay, I'm like, you've apologized to me more than anyone has in a very long time. In a short span of time, you've just been saying sorry. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. There's no need for me to be here. You could have just let me go a long time ago. He was like, I'm sorry. And I'm just sitting there looking at him like, you're stupid. Then I'm thinking about my friend. I'm like, she's stupid. Everybody in this situation is stupid. So then he goes and he looks at me. He's like, all right, Chelsea. He's like, are you hungry? I was like, yes, I'm actually very hungry. He's like, I bet. So in the back of my head, I'm like, oh my God, he's going to go get some food and I can escape, right? Yeah, this man had in the trunk of that car that we drove, he had sandwiches, chips, snacks, water. And I'm like, damn, I guess he got it at Jay's before we pulled up to the spot. So he gives me the sandwich. I start eating it and I'm just looking at him like pissed off. Like, I just want to go, right? So he's laughing at me. And I'm like, why are you laughing? He was like, you're so cute when you're mad. And I'm like, this is not the time for this. Like, I'm really pissed off. So he's like, can you just make light of the situation? I'm like, oh my God, this guy is really like mentally off. So I'm irritated and I'm just eating my food, ignoring him. So he goes and he's like, let's get to know each other a little better. I'm like, I don't think I want to get to know you anymore. He's like, so I go and say to him, I'm like, matter of fact, who's Jay to you? Who's Jay? And why do you trust him so much? So he goes and says to me, my dad used to beat me up very badly. And I'm like, okay. He was like, it was like bad. And, you know, I was a kid ripping and running the streets, and Jay took me under his wing. And one day he saw that my dad was like hitting me really, really bad. And he pulls up to my crib and beat my father up. Like, he was like, Jay, like, boom, 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 boom. And then Jay told him, pack your stuff, you moving in with me. I was like, how old were you when that happened? He was like, I was 13. And I was like, wow. So then, you know, we're chit-chatting, and I get really tired again. Obviously, I'm a very sleepy person, right? But a part of me really does feel like he's not going to do nothing to me, because he's been very protective of me the entire situation. So he looks at me, he's like, you cold? I was like, yeah. So he grabs this blanket from like one of the lockers in the like the garage, and he's like, lay down on the couch, and, you know, he was like, just get comfortable. He was like, I got you. I'm like, okay, cool. So I fall asleep, and I'm probably knocked out. Like, it feels like I was knocked out forever, right? But I'm sleeping. And then I hear like his phone ringing, and I'm like half, like I wake up to that, but I'm like half asleep, half awake. And y'all, this guy starts screaming on the phone like, what? What do you mean? And I'm like, I wake up, I'm like, what's going on? He's on the phone with his homeboy, the one from like that, I told you, like the first, like with the girl, with the side girl, like the safe house situation. He's on the phone with that guy, and he's going off like, no, right? So I'm just like, what just happened? He gets off the phone and he says, they got Jay. I'm like, who got Jay? He's like, they got Jay. I'm like, I am so sorry for the wait. I have been super sick and recovering from a really, really bad cold flu. But here we are with part 10. So, boom. Bank robber gonna go say they got Jay. So I'm like, oh my God, who got Jay? So at this point, he's just screaming and he's pissed off and he's like, what? Y'all. He goes and says, a bunch of cop cars surrounded Jay's crib. Mind you, I'm thinking, why would anyone surround Jay's crib? And this is like a lot, right? Because how do they know that we were there? So I'm trying to put two and two together, because I'm sitting there thinking, did Kilo snitch? You know, like, did something happen? Right? Remember when I said that one of Kilo guys had snatched me up and went, shh, stand down? Y'all tell me why that man was undercover. He was an undercover Fed. And apparently they have been trying to crack a case on Jay and Kilo and just the whole nine, right? So Jay gave this man ammo because, boom, because this guy has witnessed, which I'm sure he's witnessed a bunch of other stuff, I don't know, but he witnessed Jay pulling out a little on Kilo and hitting Kilo with a little right? So just for context, the is the pow pow. But anyway, so now they got Jay out. They got Jay surrounded with a bunch of cop cars at his beautiful mansion, I must say. And guess what? We escaped with luck. So this man is just dodging the police. He just dodging Kilo. He dodging everybody. So now Bank Robber Bay is losing his mind. I mean, he is screaming. He's like, nah, freaking out. And I'm watching him pace back and forth and trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm sitting there like, the police gonna get me? Because I want to go home. I want some real food, right? So then he looks at me and he just looks puzzled. And I'm like, and he's like, I gotta get rid of you. I was like, what? He's like, you gotta go home. I gotta go. I was like, you gonna leave me in the middle of all this chaos? But how you sending me home? So this guy goes, he's like, put your things on. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm finally going home. He's like, hurry up, we gotta go. So, you know, He snatches his bags, he's grabbing everything, jumps inside of this car, and we get out. So I'm just like, where we going now? And he's not talking to me. He's just like mad quiet, and he looks zoned out now. And I'm just like, so you're not gonna tell me nothing? Is this what we're doing? Now, this man is out here speeding. I mean, speeding, need for speed. Fast and Furious ain't got nothing on him. And we just going and going. I'm just sitting here like, you about to get pulled over by the cops. So he's just like pissed off, and he's like, takes a quick little boop, boop, turn to some other area. And we end up in this motel, right? The guy that, like, it's like some like real like old motel that I'm sure a lot of crime has happened, and the guy up front just looks the other way. So now we in this motel, right? And he asks the guy for a room, and I'm just like, yo, how many places we gonna go? Because we done went to so many locations, and for some reason, how come nobody is like, you know, how come I haven't been found yet? I'm on the run. So we get to the motel, and we go to this desk, the front desk, and there's this guy who looks like he's like in his mid-30s. He looks like he don't care about nothing, y'all. Like, he just finished smoking and was just like, okay, y'all need a room. And he asked for a card, and the bank robber babe was like, I only got cash. And at this point, I'm just like, oh, he prepared. He know not to leave a paper trail, right? So I'm just like, damn, this is like the next place we're in. And at this point, I feel like, am I getting home anytime soon, right? Because like, and why am I still on the run? So we go in this room, and it's one big bed, and I'm like, I know we're not finna fall asleep on the bed together, because like, he ain't finna touch no booty. But anyway, right? I go, and I'm like, I really need a shower again. And at this point, I just need a shower, but I'm re-wearing like the same shirt and sweatpants, right? I know, a little nasty, but whatever. But anyway, I jump in the shower, I get ready, and he's quiet. Like, I mean, it's like he don't really care that I'm around right now. Like, it's like he's not paying attention to anything other than his thoughts. So now he's looking all serious, a little sexy if you ask me, because I love me a serious, sexy man. But, you know, trying to focus here. I go in the shower, I come out, and I'm in this towel. And he looks at me, and I look at him, and I'm just like, so I know I look good fresh out the shower, right? Got a little cold right now, I'm a little sick, but I was looking good. And I know this because he's staring at me like, this man who was like lost in thought and all serious just looks at me like, and I'm looking at him like, and he's just looking at me like, then he goes and says, you're really beautiful. And I'm like, thank you. Now, don't get me wrong. I am very still upset. And something about the fear, it has officially like blown over me, because it's like I'm becoming numb to like being scared of what's going on. But I'm irritated. I'm angry. But I'm still a little like hot and bothered. I don't know. He was looking really good, y'all. He was looking really good. So, you know, he's staring at me. I'm in my towel, and I'm like, okay, this is not the time to flirt. He's like, nah, you just look really beautiful. Something about the way he said I look beautiful, and his like very serious, very, very serious, scary almost demeanor. But like, it was giving like, you sexy. Like, he was giving it was hot, you know? So I'm just like, okay, things are about to go left, and I should probably run and put some clothes on. So I walk out. So y'all, there's an intensity in the room, but I'm trying to not be awkward because I understand what this intensity is. And as angry as I am, Big Rubber Babe's fine as hell. And he was doing a lot of protecting and a lot of, you know, and I'm just like, and something about when he was like really angry, but like then turned serious and focused, it was just like, oh, girl, don't be toxic. Don't be toxic. But like, so I'm standing between the bathroom door, right? And I just walk out, right? And as I'm walking past the bed to just, you know, go and like grab my stuff, he puts his hand on my thigh, like he grabs my thigh, right? First of all, just gotta say, this man had a man hand. Like, it was that grip, man. So he goes and he grips my thigh, but not in like a forceful way, just in a, I don't know, it was just like a touch. And I would look over at him and he looks at me with these eyes. And I'm just like, y'all. Yeah. Y'all,